$1 billion shield went dark in minutes. Not from missiles, from 19 cheap, autonomous drones flying nap of the Earth in total radio silence. They erased the 92 N60 radar, cracked S-400 fire control, and carved a 50-mile hole in the sky. You'll see the exact sequence: AI terrain matching instead of GPS, blind zones exploited in Pantsir coverage, and 3 strikes landing within minutes. If you think layered air defense beats swarms, watch how the kill chain snaps when the sensor head dies. Stay and learn the doctrine shift that turns fortresses into liabilities. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
We have no casualties at the railway hub, despite the building works that were going on. Strike was at the suburban depot. It's not even a depot where locomotives are serviced. It's a depot where electric trains are serviced.
Russia simply won't stop until it destroys us. That's my opinion. And I think that's how it will continue.
$1 billion wall built to swat fast. Loud threats misses the quiet ones. So how did a silent swarm walk straight through the front door? Start with how the fortress is supposed to work. A broad surveillance Big Bird sweeps the horizon. The 92 N60 fire control radar locks tracks. S-400 launchers stand ready, and the edges bristle with Pantsir and TOR. The design intent is clear: catch cruise missiles and jets before they crest the radar line, then finish anything that leaks through with short-range guns and missiles. It's a layered kill web, tuned for speed, noise, and heat. But low, slow, small flips the script. Drones hugging riverbeds and tree lines live inside the radar's ground clutter, that noisy band where brush, buildings, and terrain bounce back echoes that look like a weather smear. Legacy sets want a big, steady return. A plastic airframe with a soda bottle cross-section blends into the mess. At low height, even a good radar loses altitude resolution, and, look down, performance turns into guesswork. Operators know something's there. They don't know what, or where, in time to shoot. Then comes electromagnetic silence. No telemetry beacons. No GPS link singing to satellites. No data stream for a jammer to stomp. These craft ride inertial sensors and preloaded maps. They don't advertise. They don't reply.
Targeting energy infrastructure and power stations in some 29 areas from the eastern Donetsk region to the Kiev region. Air raid alerts rang across the country as Ukraine came under a wave of drones and missiles, where a station and suburban depot for electric trains were hit.
EW crews spin their dials and get nothing to grab. The screen stays blank until a shape appears on a camera or a warhead pops. Navigation shifts from signal to sight. AI terrain matching lets a drone compare what its camera sees and what its altimeter feels against stored terrain, the way a hiker follows ridgelines and creek forks without a phone. The algorithm doesn't care if a tower scrambles GPS. It keeps checking angles, contrasts, and height changes, correcting course with each bend of ground. That means it can stay under the beam, thread culverts, and time a rise to hit a radar face, not the fence. Now scale it. 19 autonomous drones break into rolls. Side-class craft push the long leg toward the radar hub. Beaver-style FPVs ride low for the close-in kill. Smaller units probe, feint, and soak fire. They approach under coverage arcs, then slip inside Pantsir blind cones shaped by masts, berms, and buildings. Those systems are good at swatting a leaker that shows itself. They get stressed when hit from below, from behind, and from angles the site layout never rehearsed. The radar problem multiplies under control of approach. Narrow beams must skin a volume. Each sweep takes time. A small cross-section can vanish between refresh cycles, especially when it ducks into clutter at the exact moment the dish slews away. Look down limits add to it. The set sees a field of moving dots, wind-blown clutter, birds, and one or two things that matter, then loses the thread when the track drifts across a seam between sectors. In the van, operators see ghosting, then a spike, then nothing. They engage late. They fire on decoys because a wooden wing looks like a warhead when the return is thin. A missile chases a false cue. A gun rakes empty sky. Then the sensor head takes a hit, and queuing dies mid-burst. Once the radar that stitches the air picture goes dark, the kill chain snaps. Launchers still stand. They just don't know where to aim. That's the quiet failure at the core. The system didn't lack missiles. It lacked a reliable picture. Strip the eye from the network and everything else hesitates, reloads, and waits for orders that never come.
He did not say if these were new plans or if they were related to the conflict in Ukraine. Drone attacks on Russian territory, and last month, a drone attempted to strike a facility in the Moscow region. Recently, authorities in Crimea claimed the Russian Navy repelled a drone attack in the port of Sevastopol.
With the eye blinded, timing turns into a weapon. Watch 3 hits land inside minutes, and listen as the sky goes quiet. Then see how the order of those hits matters more than the size of the blast. If you had 180 seconds to collapse an air grid, which node do you kill first, shooters, sensors, or power? The sequence here is the doctrine. 6 Scythe-class drones take the long arc toward the radar hub. 5 FPVs creep along buried cable runs and fuel lines, pre-programmed to hit junction boxes and pump sheds. 6 strike drones angle for the vehicle park, aiming at reload trucks, maintenance tents, and tow rigs. They don't arrive at once. They arrive staggered, at offsets of seconds and angles that cross the human reaction loop, so every console lights up with a different threat and no one knows which to kill first. In the shelters, operators snap to mixed returns. One blip hugs the ground, another pops up, then drops out. Intercept queues clash, and the battery chief starts calling targets that vanish between sweeps. Pantsir turrets whip left, then right. TOR racks cycle, then pause, waiting on fresh queuing that never settles. Reload crews rush canisters, but the timing is off, and the lot is already under threat. The first decisive hit lands on the 92 N6E. That shatters the fire control chain. Launchers still stand, but the tracks they need go soft, then go dark. The engagement radar stops feeding precise vectors, so missiles become dumb spears. The shooters have no eyes. You can feel the pause as crews wait for a track that won't refresh, then look outside and see nothing but smoke drifting past the dish. Now the hole. With track quality gone, a wide slice of airspace turns into a dead zone for coordination. You could fire a missile into it, but guidance would be guesswork. No mid-course updates. No crisp terminal handoff. That gap stretches far beyond the sight fence, a silent corridor where unlinked shooters can't converge, and decoys can skate through untouched.
And to cut it piece by piece, having numerous peace settlements or peace negotiations. It's a true operation, and Ukrainian armed forces are there and controlling more than 1,000 square kilometers.
Way for negotiations or whatever reason. It has to be able to hold it without too great a loss.
Meanwhile, the FPVs go for the veins. They stab fuel bladders, clip feed lines, and bite power junctions tucked behind blast walls. These are quiet kills that don't throw a big flash, but they buy minutes that turn into hours. Without steady power, radars trip to generators, then trip again. Without fuel pressure, trucks sit, and restart cycles drag. The blackout that begins with the radar face gets length from every severed wire under the gravel. At the vehicle yard, the third wave arrives. A strike drone tags a reload truck, another walks a row of maintenance bays. Flames spread to tires, hitches, and cranes, the tools that make a battery breathe. Even if one radar panel survives, the unit loses tempo. No cranes, no canisters, no canisters, no reload, no reload, no second salvo. That is how momentum dies. Consider the short-range guards. TOR and OSA have pedigree against fast movers and certain standoff threats. They can swat a leaker in clean air. But here, timing, altitude, and tiny cross-sections stack the odds for the swarm. Each unit fires at the thing it can see, at the moment it can see it, while the real priorities arrive low, from angles shaped by berms and sheds. The math of volume, not a single magic drone, breaks the defense. The base falls out of the fight not from bigger blasts, but from order of operations. Kill sensing, sever power, choke logistics, each hit magnifies the next, and the clock does the rest. With the sky blind, a ground thrust can move under the gap. Next, watch how control of the spectrum keeps the kill chain alive when jammers spin up and try to set the board back to zero. The win came from disruption, not destruction. Kill the brain and the fortress fights itself. Sensors lost queuing, power blinked, comms lagged. Every delay multiplied the hit that came next. What would you harden first against a swarm like this, sensor, power, or comms? Comment your choice below. If you want more hard analysis, not hype, subscribe. The age of smart swarms favors speed, silence, and timing. Cheap airframes, smart routing, and ordered strikes beat static walls. You adapt or you bleed tempo. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict. Next, we test counter-swarm defenses under stress.